Good morning. We thank God for being here once again. Y'all know what it is. I'm not gonna take the head off. I'm not gonna take the head off. We lost yesterday. I'm gonna deal with it. All right. But I'm not a fair weather 49er. So it is what it is. We're gonna wipe our get ready for this great message, whatever you want to call it, talk, education. We're gonna talk about what most believers should know about fasting. And this is good for believers and non-believers, whatever category you put yourself in. Um, Fasting is beneficial not only physically, but it's beneficial spiritually. And so we're gonna jump into that. I am very excited about today. So let's get ready to go. We're talking about fasting today. Let me go back. First of all, good morning to everybody. If I have not spoken to you yet, please put a good morning in the chat so I can know that you are here. Otherwise, I won't know. So I'm praying that everybody is good, that you had a good Sunday, that you had a good weekend. Even if you're a 49er fan or a Chiefs fan, I pray that you had a good weekend. It's all fun. I'm not a fan where I'm gonna sit there and have a bad day because we lost and nothing like that. Like, it's not really that serious. We're not gonna make an idol out of these football teams, but at the same time, it's very fun to be able to root for. And but I knew we were gonna lose the whole. I knew the road was about to be over. To beat a team 7 times in a row is pretty difficult, but we're not talking about that right now. I told you guys that today I would start my 72-hour fast. Today I will start my 72-hour fast. Good morning, good morning. And I encourage you that if you wanted to join in, you could. I didn't make it to the gym this morning. I kind of overslept. And I'll probably go right after this live, but I normally don't stop working out when I fast. So each month, at the end of the month, I do a 72-hour fast, which the fast is just, and I'm not saying this to, brag or anything. This is not for bragging or anything like that. So the Bible talks about how you had some people who would walk around with their face all twisted up just to let you know that they're fasting, and they would do that out of, the brag. But I'm not doing that for that. I'm telling you about this fast because it's very beneficial. It's when I discovered what fasting does, it changed my whole spiritual walk with God. And I want to be able to share that with you. That's the whole purpose of this. So, but no, like I was saying, I normally do work out when I fast, just because in my own walk, I want to be able to retain muscle while I'm fasting. So I don't want to, because a lot of times when you fast, it not only just eats away at your physical at your muscles, but it eats away, not only eats away at your fat, but it eats away at your muscle. So you may lose 60% fat but 40% muscle. Well, I want to be able to send my body the signal that I want to keep my muscle, right? So I fast and I still do work out. Now, I don't put big weights over my head or nothing stupid like that, because during a fast that's this long, you can get lightheaded during the fast. Eric said you don't see me on Facebook. Well, that's probably your page, because I got people up here from for Facebook. So yeah, you have to check out that page you got. All right, but cool. But good morning, Eric. Good morning to everybody who is on with us this morning. But yeah, so fasting. I wanted to talk first of all about the physical benefits of fasting. the physical benefits, and then we're going to talk about the spiritual benefits of fasting. But one of the things that I laugh about when we talk about just this world in general is that often we come to discover things through research, through trial and error, through all these things, right, that the Bible was saying all along. So you got the scientists climbing this mountain, all these people trying to get to the top of this hill, only to find out that the theologian was already there in the first place. So they're now finding out some of the benefits of fasting when it comes to mental health, the benefits of fasting when it comes to cancer cells not being able to regenerate, and all these type of things, because we were physically not meant really to eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. What we do a lot of times is out of habit and out of addiction. We're actually addicted to some of the things that we eat. So physically, I did want to talk, and I wanted to show you a little bit about fasting here as soon as I get my stuff together. Here we go. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Give me a second. But while I pull this up, understanding that there is a spiritual benefit to fasting, but there also is a physical benefit. Of course, with this fast that I'm going to do, last time I think I lost about 10 pounds, something like that. Now, a lot of that is water weight, right? So as soon as you start drinking water again, a lot of that weight is going to come back up. But fasting will help you to lose weight, right? It will help you to lose weight. And I can't even find this. Let me type it in. Hold on one second, y'all. My computer went dead when I was getting ready to start the live, and I lost a lot of the information that I had up here. Give me a second. And like I said, I'm doing a 72-hour fast. And of course, that's 3 days. So I kind of count from last night when I ate last, which was 8 o'clock. And I keep going to that 72-hour mark. So it'll probably be 8 o'clock 2 days from now, 3 days from now. I can't find it, guys. I'm just gonna give it to you off the top of my head. Here it is. So the first 12 hours, right? The first 12 hours of fasting, you haven't eaten anything. Only thing you're doing is drinking water. It means that all the food that you've eaten up to that point is pretty much burned off. Okay? So now, with your food burned off, now you have the ability to now start to heal. Your body can now start to regenerate, because now it doesn't have to worry about food and having to break it down. You ever wonder how when you eat you get sleepy? Because people call it the itis. Because when you start filling your body up, your body has to figure out what are we going to do with all this stuff. And most of the energy that you need to digest, your body says, okay, let's go to sleep so that we can figure this out, right? So you get sleepy. But after that 12-hour period, which I'm in right now, because the last time I ate was about 8 o'clock last night. So in that period, yes, right now, I feel like, man, I normally eat breakfast around this time. So I normally drink my coffee around this time. So you start to get a little hungry, right? So what happens when you get hungry? Your stomach, starts to, twist a little bit, start to growl. Actually, what it is that your stomach releases these acids called ghrelin or something like that. Ghrelin, Grelin. And what it does is it's acids that are released because we're used to eating food at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever time you normally eat, when your body develops that habit, it starts to release those acids that say, okay, we're going to go ahead and get ready to break down this food. Well, when you don't have that food in there, that acid starts to just kind of eat away at the lining of your stomach, right? Or starts to kind of let you know, look, we here, we ready, right? And your body is telling you, look, it's time to eat, it's time to eat. So right now, that's where I am, okay? So you have to recognize this in order to get through a 48, 72-hour fast, anything. You got to recognize the fact that your body's going to tell you it's time to eat. Now, let me put this out there. If you have diabetes or some sort of insulin issues or sugar issues, we're not talking to you right now, okay? Because you have a whole different set. Now, I don't know the information for that, but it is possible to safely fast if you have diabetes or whatever, but I don't know the answers to those. So this is just for people who, normal diet without diabetes, whatever, okay? But so that's the first 12 hours. So what you want to do is that, and here's a little bit of the spiritual aspect of it. You want to pray and you want to drink water. You want to pray and you want to drink water. So fasting from a spiritual sense is about replacing physical things with spiritual things. And we're going to get more into that a little bit later. But so I've already drank a lot of water. So why are you drinking water? And room temperature water at that? Because I want those acids that have been released to be diluted in my stomach. Okay, I'm just trying to make it so my stomach is not hurting from me being in a fast, right? So that's what happens the first 12 hours. 18 hours, it's this thing called apogee. Apogee. It's spelled A-U-T-O-P-H-A-G-Y, apogee. And what that is it's the breakdown of old proteins in your body, right? And as you know, even right now with COVID-19, what does it do? It attaches to the proteins that are old in your body, and it regenerates using the protein that you already have in your body. So with a fast, it helps you to renew your immune system, right? So that's the start of apogee. So that's 18 hours, 24 hours. Okay, now throughout this whole day, you want to be drinking water. And if you're doing this fast with me, you want to be drinking water. And another thing before we continue, go ahead and weigh yourself in the morning. And some of y'all not going to start today like me, but if you want to do this in the future, go back and look at this video. I'm going to give you everything you need to know about this fasting thing, right? So 24 hours. Now the inflammation in your body is starting to go down. And as you know, most of what causes disease and all these type of things is two things: mucus and inflammation. Inflammation, your knees hurt, your skin problem, all these type of things are from inflammation. And when you start to fast, it cuts out a lot of the inflammation you have. For instance, when I did my last fast, I went to play basketball in the morning, and most of the time when I'm playing, my knees hurt, right? All this kind of things. But when I was fasting, no knee pain, because the inflammation that used to build up is no longer building up the same way. You're talking about gut health. All the bacteria that we have in our bodies is not good bacteria. We have some bad bacteria in our gut. And what that does, and I'm not claiming to be a doctor or anything, so you can go back and wherever I mess up, you can kind of do your own research. I'm just giving you the basics of what I know about this fasting, which I've been doing, for a while. But brain health, this was my biggest thing. I would get into these things, and I still do at times, but it's decreased now that I started this fasting. I would get into these things where my brain would just be so foggy. And I have thyroid problems. So that was part of it, just having a foggy brain, not being able to remember anything, not being able to I mean, I may meet you one day and then forget your name the next second. So I really wanted to fix my brain health. Let me tell you a story too about it's this guy, and he wanted to kill himself. He was so depressed, so out of it. He didn't see any kind of use for life, and so, excuse me, he decided to kill himself. Well, he said, "Let me find the best way to do it." So he went into his room, and he decided he was going to starve himself to death, right? And in the process of him starving himself to death, of course, this fasting, he started to feel a little better. His depression went down. And he found out that a lot of the reasons why he was so depressed was because of what was going on with him physically. And so his fasting actually brought him out of depression, right? Fasting is not easy. It's not easy, especially when you're doing it. And now people are always talking about, well, I'm just going to give up the TV. Whatever. But for me, I want to do something that means something to God, right? I want to be able to devote this time of my life to God. And whatever your reason may be, for me, I feel like not watching TV is easy. Now, maybe it's not for you. Maybe that's something that you say, well, that's a challenge for me. Let me just start there. Fine. Whatever your walk is. But for me, it's going to be today, tomorrow, and the next day, or part of the next day, 72-hour fast of just water. A lot of the issues that we go through physically are part of our eating. So, and I see people logging off already, right? Because a lot of us don't want to do this. A lot of us don't really see the benefits, right? But this helps to reduce cancer, and you can do your own research. It helps to reduce cancer. It helps step up your immune system. Pretty much everything across the board physically, a 72-hour, 48-hour fast can help you. Now, why do I say 72 hours or 42 hours? 72 hours or 48 hours? Because the first day, if you quit after the first day, is so hard that you'll think it'd be hard. How can I put it? The first day, the hardest day, right? So the second and third day gets easier, especially the third day. The third day, you feel like you can go on forever. But if you stop at 24 hours, you can be like, I will never do that again. Because your body is so confused trying to figure out what's going on, and you won't be able to get the true benefits of it, right? So this is why I say extend it, because that first day, you're going to be having a headache maybe. And if you do get a headache, put a little salt on your tongue. That'll help. Don't try to take a bunch of meds and all that good stuff, because your body's trying to clean itself out. Your sleeping pattern is going to be difficult because a lot of us eat before we go to sleep, right? So there's going to be a lot of changes in your body. And if you stop at that 24 hours, I don't see you seeing the benefits that it happens, because your body will start to adjust to what you're doing. And if you stop early, you won't see the benefits mentally. You'll see the benefits physically, but mentally you won't see it. Now, why did I pick 72 hours? Because anytime after 72 hours, your body starts to break down your muscle. Like I said, I don't want my muscle broke down. I just want, my fat broke down physically. So I don't want that. But you're talking about some of you will lose 15 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever, just off doing a fast. Just off doing a fast. So that's the physical benefits of doing the fast. All right, let me move a little bit, because I want to give you the spiritual benefits, right? Okay, John Wesley. He said, without God, man cannot. And without man, God will not. Let me say that again. Without God, man, meaning us, we cannot. And without man, God will not. What is that saying? And I've been up here 20 minutes already. That's crazy. But what is that saying? There's some things in your life that God will allow you to do. But there's other things that without God is impossible for you to do it. Right? And God is giving us dominion over this earth. He's given us the right to be able to make the decisions that we want to make. And he does not impose himself on man. Like, he doesn't make you do anything. So if you decide to walk into a church, walk into a synagogue and shoot the synagogue, well, I hope Facebook don't demonetize me for that. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying there's people who have decided to do outrageous, crazy, horrendous type of things. And you have the physical ability to do that. And people will be like, well, how did God allow this? How did God allow that? Because he does not interfere with your will. You can do what you want to do, right? And he does not insert himself. So in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, it says that God gave us dominion over the earth. That God gave us dominion over the earth. He did not give himself dominion over the earth. He gave it to us. Therefore, he will not interfere without the participation of man. He will not interfere without the participation of man. In other words, he will not get in your business unless you allow him to get in your business. And many of us think, well, God, why did you allow this? Why did you allow that? Because people have their own way they want to do. Think about it. He told Moses, take your staff, raise it up. Couldn't he have just split the Red Sea on his own? Maybe. But because he gives us dominion over the earth, he's not going to do anything without you, Moses. Right? He's not going to do anything without your participating in the process. And that goes for our own lives. He's not going to do anything. So what am I saying? What does that have to do with fasting? In order for you to get closer to God, know the will of God for your life, to experience a closer walk with God, to be able to hear his voice better, you have to be able to tap into the spiritual and not just in the physical. So most of us, we live through our sight, through our touch, through our feel. We live through trying to satisfy our bodies, through sex, through food, through whatever it may be. When you fast, you say that I am going to stop. I'm going to put down trying to satisfy my body or trying to appease my body. But I'm going to focus more on the spirituals. This is why fasting is deliberately abstaining from food as a means to get closer to God, right? But it's not replacing, it's supposed to be replacing food. Like you want to replace the spiritual with physical. Replace the physical with spiritual. Excuse me, guys. And I'm everywhere this morning, right? But it's all about being able to touch God where you haven't been able to touch previously. Because God is not a physical being. He's a spirit. And so how can I access the will of God for my life? How can I get prayers to move in my life without being able to operate where my creator is? Like, how can I put it? You trying to get a prayer through or get something done on the earth, but you're not tapped in, because the only thing you do is think about your physical, operate off your physical. Most of the decisions that we make are physically driven, but God will allow us to tap into the spiritual world, and the spiritual world is more powerful than the physical world. Why? Because out of the spirit, he said, let there be light. So there was this let there be out of the spiritual, but yet we try to let there be out of the physical. So fasting is a powerful tool for not only just physical health, because scientists are discovering now what theologians have already been saying for years. It helps. It helps. It helps you. And you don't even have to be a Christian for it to help you physically. But if you want it to help you spiritually, replace those meals with prayer, with reading your scripture. And I guarantee you, you'll go into a deeper relationship with God. You'll go into a deeper relationship with God, and you'll be able to understand that everything that I'm doing in this life is not just about satisfying my physical, but it's about satisfying my spiritual. And I want to see you guys in the comment section. I want to hear what you have to say about this fasting. What are your experiences with fasting? Are you going to start this fast with me now? Are anybody going to try to do it maybe for just, a couple meals? So what's your stance on that, on fasting? And the thing I love about our page, right, is because a lot of my Facebook friends, a lot of my people that see us on YouTube are not Christian. And I like that, because now I'm able to share with you in a regular, everyday, talk, why I do what I do as a Christian, right? Because if I just tell you, in passing or whatever, a lot of us won't be able to get it. But I want to be able to share with you in an everyday way why we do what we do. And so I think that these talks are good. I think these are good. But I want to share with you a scripture, Isaiah 58. Isaiah 58 in verse 2, it says, and this is the Message Bible, and I read this because it's a lot easier for a lot of us that are not used to reading the scripture, a lot easier for us to understand it. But Isaiah 58 verse 2, it says, they're busy, busy, busy at worship, and they love studying all about me. To all, I missed my spot. To all appearances, they're a nation of right living people, law abiding, God honoring. They ask me, what is the right thing to do? So in other words, these people, for all intents and purposes, were good people. They would try to figure out what God wanted for their life. They'll try to figure this out and that out, right? But they'll ask, what's the right thing for me to do? And it says, why do we this is the question they were asking God. Why do we humble ourselves and you don't even notice? Why do we fast and you don't even look our way? So they were trying to fast, not just from them wanting to get closer to God. They were fasting to be seen by other people. And it says, verse 5, do you think that this kind of fast, do you think that this is the kind of fast day I'm after, a day to show off humility? In other words, you trying to show off with your fast, to put on a pious long face and parade around solemnly in black. So what they would do is they would dress in all black, mess up their faces, walk around to try to let everybody know they were fasting. And like I said in the beginning, this, for me to share this with you, is not me trying to brag or do anything like that. It's because I understand that a lot of people don't know how to do this stuff, right? And I've already shared with you how you can get through this fast, right? This kind of fast, in verse 6, this is the kind of fast day I'm after, to break the chains of injustice, to get rid of exploitation in the workplace, to free the oppressed and cancel debts. In other words, God's saying, I don't want these pious fasts and you still not change your life in the process. He said, I want justice. I want righteousness. I want right thinking. I want you to do the right thing. He said, you can keep your fast if your fast, all you're doing is just trying to get people to see that you're fasting. So if you're going to do this fasting with me, or anytime you decide to do it, make sure that it's for the right reasons. If you are going to do a fast just to lose weight, then don't try to say you fasted for spiritual reasons, right? If you want to fast to lose weight, fast to lose weight. But don't try to act like it's something that you're doing for God. But if you are seeking after God, if you are saying, God, I want a closer relationship with you, fasting is one of the ways that you can get there. And so many times we want God to do this and that and do this for that for us, but we don't want to do anything in our own physical life to make it easier, to make ourselves be in a better position when it comes to our spirituality. So all this fasting is about position. It's about position, where you are in relationship to God. And so I know I was everywhere today. I know that maybe because I ain't eat yet, and I know that a lot of you still have more questions, but I guarantee you that after, when you start this fast, and let me add something too. When you go to work, right, and people ask you, oh, you ain't eating, you ain't coming out, just tell you know what, I'll just decide I'm gonna read today, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And you gotta broadcast it to everybody. And another thing, maybe if this is your first time doing a fast, maybe start off with doing like water and apple juice or something like that, because the apple juice helps to dilute those acids that are released in your stomach when you get hungry, or some tea. But just try to stay away from too much sugar and all that stuff, because believe it or not, we're addicted to sugar. Tremendous health benefits, tremendous spiritual benefits. So we started our 72-hour fast. I'm going to mention it tomorrow, but I'm not going to go into it in depth. I do want to be with you through this walk. So if you decided to do it, just give me a message to let me know you're doing it. Yeah. Anybody got any questions before I leave? Or you can just message me in the chat. All right, man. I'll see y'all later. Thank you guys for staying with me through all my technical issues. But love you guys. Talk to you later.